Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk, the podcast for the fans by a fan. I am your host, Dan DeWitt, and I am so glad that you have decided to listen to this podcast. And I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. Hopefully your new year was enjoyable and safe. I guess those are probably the most important things, is that you had some fun, spent some time with friends or family, and that you were safe. Definitely. So, yeah, this is not a podcast about New Year's. This is a podcast about UNC basketball. And so, excuse me, we are going to mostly just jump in. A lot of action since our last podcast. And really the last podcast was not much. If you have been listening, you saw that the last podcast was just a little blurb of me updating pretty much that I had moved, I had internet, and that I couldn't talk because my voice was gone. Maybe can even hear a little bit still that it's not completely back, but mostly back. A lot of games to talk about. Start of ACC play, and so we need to get into it, discuss it, jump into and dive into everything that is UNC basketball, and also look ahead to what's coming. So as I'm recording this, I am in my game day gear. Got my game day hat on, North Carolina shirt, of course, representing. And yeah, I'm recording this Monday, January 4th, 2016. And we play Florida State in Tallahassee tonight. So it'll be a tough one. Thought about waiting until tomorrow to just cover that one as well, but we've got enough to cover. And I don't know if it's going to work out for my schedule. So I wanted to pound this one out. Hopefully I get it up and published before the game tonight. May not get a chance to listen to it before tonight. So I apologize for that. And we will cover the FSU, hopefully win, knock on wood, next podcast as well. But yeah, this is the 75th episode of UNC Hoops Talk podcast. I'm glad you're here to join. If this is your first time, I would love for you to subscribe, review. Many places you can find this. iTunes is probably the quickest way to get it to your phone or wherever you listen to it, computer, tablet. Or you can listen on Stitcher. Pretty much any podcast catcher will have it. So it's also on YouTube, although the video has not been recording well with the audio lately, so it's been mostly just audio there as well. But that's okay. There's not much to look at anyway. And I've rambled on more than enough, and we got way too much to cover for me to be doing that. So let's jump on in. The last game, well, the first game is the UNC Greensboro game. Wes Miller, Jackie Manuel, both coming in to the Dean Dome again. Nice, comfortable win. We came out strong. We came out aggressive, played really well. So I'm not going to go as in detail to that one. We won 96-63. Yeah, so, I mean, we had, 6 guys in double figures. Excuse me. Bryce had 16 and 16. I forget how many double-doubles he's up to now. Shot 7 for 9, which is outstanding. Joel James got the start again in lieu of Kennedy Meeks still being out. And just a little side note there, we don't have much update on Kennedy Meeks. He's starting to shoot around a little bit, which I guess is good, but not doing a lot of running. And we don't really know when he's going to be back. There's pretty much no timetables. They thought he would be back already, and the knee has not made the progress that they thought it should or would. And so we're just kind of wait and see. Although, a lot of guys stepping up. Bryce Johnson being one of them, playing outstanding since Meeks has been out. Isaiah Hicks in this game shot 6 for 8, with 13 points. Still just 21 minutes. I'd like to see those a little bit higher, along with Joel James's being a little bit lower. But Joel James did get the start, played 16 minutes. Didn't give us any in this game, but a later game that we will discuss. If you watched, you know which one I'm talking about. Big boost from Joel James, so I guess I can't harp on him too hardly or harshly in this podcast. Justin Jackson, 14 points, shot 7 for 11. Joel Berry, 11 points. Hit a couple of threes. Marcus Page, 14 points. Just really a lot of balanced scoring in really all 3 of these games. And like I said, 6 guys in double figures in this one. Nate Britt off the bench with 11 points, had 5 assists to 0 turnovers. And then Isaiah Hicks, like I said, 13 points. And rebounding in this game, of course, it didn't matter. We were bigger than them, stronger than them, faster than them. All those good things, more talented than them. It didn't matter. But rebounding, he needs to do a little bit better. Along with everybody pretty much except for Bryce. Bryce has been a monster. And then the other guy another guy in double figure minutes were both the freshmen, Luke May and Kenny Williams. We got 4 points from Kenny, 5 from Luke. Luke's been given some good, solid role minutes with Kenny Bay out. But yeah, not a lot to talk about in the Greensboro game. Don't want to spend too much time with that. Got the win. We ended conference play with 2 losses. Trying to think what our record was at that point. This is 11-2. I think that was after that game. So we finished the non-conference 11-2, which I think I predicted being undefeated at that point, but it happens. We just got to win a couple of games here that we're not supposed to, or maybe people don't think we should, although I only predicted us to have like 2 wins all season. So my prediction's probably a little shot, but that's okay. It's not the first time it's been wrong. But yeah, then we moved into ACC play on December 30th. We played Clemson. Started pretty shaky. Bryce really struggled in this game. Lots of foul trouble. Shot 1 for 8. Just could not get anything going. And that's kind of the case with him. He's either just way up here, dominating as far as rebounds and making every shot, or it's the polar opposite, and he's just frustrated, head case like, and can't get anything going. So he was 1 for 8, had 9 rebounds still. But yeah, just 3 points in his 27 minutes. And this game actually, again, Joel James started, but just played 9 minutes, which is you could have shocked, or you could have, what's the word I'm looking for? You could have, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. I would not have predicted that or would have guessed that, I guess. Just watching the game, I don't remember him being out that much, and only 1 foul, so it wasn't foul trouble either. But that's more like, especially if he's going to start, I don't really care who starts. It's who gets the minutes, and so I don't care if he starts, but that's more like where I would like to see him as far as minutes go. Justin Jackson in this game, 13 points, shot 6 for 13. Joel Berry shot 6 for 14. With 16 points, 4 assists, 0 turnovers. Marcus Page, 18 points, shot 8 for 12. And all those 3 backcourt guys were over 30 minutes. So that's good to know that, if we need them, we can count on them like that. And then off the bench, Theo Pinson, a nice game, shooting 5 for 5, 3 for 3 from three-point line, 6 rebounds. With his 13 points in just 24 minutes as well. Isaiah Hicks shot 5 for 6, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Still just 6 rebounds, 14 points before he fouled out. But yeah, it was another. It's the start of ACC play. Roy, took down the bench even more. Luke got 5 minutes, but other than that, it was our main guys. So we played 9 guys, and really, you could say Luke, was just, spotty minutes, and then and then Joel James just 9 minutes. So obviously, when we get Meeks back, that's kind of the rotation we're looking at, and the improvement that Hicks has shown while Meeks has been out, that's been key, at least to me, for this. We talked about guys being able to get better and develop and stuff while Marcus was out. I don't know if we saw it. Maybe Joel Berry, he's definitely been coming on strong this year. But I think we would have expected that even if Marcus would have been there from the beginning. But now that, Meeks has been out, Hicks has taken that step. Even Bryce has really taken a step up since he's been gone. If they can continue that and then Meeks gets right back into it, that's where it's really going to help us. And I guess that's where we got to hope for it. So, yeah, as we beat Clemson 80-69, looking at stats that kind of jump out to me, not a lot. We had 16 assists to 12 turnovers. They had 10 assists to 13 turnovers. We out-rebounded them 38-29, which is a little bit low for me. Maybe it's the amount of shots being taken. I don't know. We made 5 of 13 threes. They made 7 of 19. Not much difference there. We were really good free throw wise. We shot 11 for 14 from the free throw line, 79% for the game. And to me, that's kind of where it was won. And I'm trying to add in, I don't even remember these games are all blurred together. If you guys have moved before, if you got kids together or kids, period, you kind of know how that goes. And over the holiday season, you know, the illness in our house, I'm making a lot of excuses here, but really it's just all blending together for me. Honestly, I can hardly remember watching the game. I know I did. I know where I was, all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I apologize, and hopefully you can make it through this podcast. But we did get the win. Took us to obviously 1-0 in the ACC, 12-2 overall. And then we start the new year, 2016, off on the right foot and continuing our nice play and balanced play. Going back to the Clemson game real quick, we had 5 guys in double figures, and of course that's with Bryce playing terrible, who would have been our 6th. And then moving up to the Georgia Tech game, we have 6, all 5 starters, and then Isaiah Hicks again in double figure scoring. This one was a little bit more scary or sketchy, especially because it was a home game. Like, we know it's going to be tough to win on the road in the ACC. Hopefully we can, take Clemson out. I don't even know who we all play right off the top of my head. I guess I can look here. I got the schedule. Virginia Tech, hopefully that's a for sure win on the road. Boston College, we should be able to beat on the road. Other than that, we could lose the other games on the road. Obviously, Duke, Virginia, State's a rival. Louisville is looking a lot better than I thought they would be. Syracuse is Jim Boeheim's first game back. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Florida State always plays us tough, especially at their place. And then it's Notre Dame, and which I guess could go either way. So winning on the road in the ACC is going to be tough enough. If we would have dropped this one at home, it would have really hurt us. And so big-time win for us, kind of coming from behind. We let a couple of guys go off. Adam Smith went off from the three-point line. He was 6 for 10 from the three-point line, 60% he shot. And that's not just like shooting 2 for 3 or something like that. He was 6 out of 10 for 20 points. How we let him continue to do that, I don't know. Marcus Georges-Hunt kind of manhandled us. The Mitchell guy was handling us inside at the beginning of the game. He ended up with 14, but Marcus Georges-Hunt shot 12 for 15 from the free throw line, and they only shot 19. So he shot 15 of their 19 from the free throw line. 25 points. We kind of let him get away from us way too much. But luckily, Marcus came on strong in the second half. Joel Berry hit some big-time shots. Bryce is back to where he needed to be at least. Justin got it going late a little bit, struggled in the first half, in the beginning part of the game. Got it going. Isaiah Hicks had some huge buckets for us, very efficient for us. And again, we ended up with 6 guys in double figures. Bryce had 15 and 11 rebounds, so he was back. Did you shoot just 6 for 12, so a little bit low for him percentage-wise. Joel James early in the game I thought was huge for us. We kept pounding into him, and he was making it. And he shot 5 for 6 for the game. I don't know if it's a career high or not, but 11 points, 5 rebounds, which is higher than what he normally has. So that's good. Obviously, as big as he is, that should be higher, but we'll take what we can get. He ended up playing 21 minutes, but again, for this game, I can't complain because he was giving us some good minutes, especially early in the game. Justin Jackson, like I said, struggled early, got it going a little bit late, but ended up with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists to 1 turnover. Joel Berry had a huge 3 late in the game, some nice drives to the bucket, some free throws to kind of cap it off. Ended up with a career high for him of 19 points. Did have 5 early turnovers, which was part of the reason we were struggling early. So it's good that he kind of redeemed himself late in the game with those big shots. Marcus Page ended up with only 13, but again, some very timely plays and buckets. I think he had the assist on the big three from Joel Berry. So, yeah, definitely making the right plays. He had 3 assists to 0 turnovers, which is what you want from your senior guard. And then off the bench, Isaiah Hicks again shot 5 for 7 for the game, 12 points, 4 rebounds. He ended up with 27 minutes, a lot of because obviously his normal minutes. And then Bryce Johnson was in some foul trouble again, kind of getting frustrated, going up and down. But 27 minutes for Hicks. Still rebounded, was pretty low. He just had 4 rebounds. He needs to continue to improve that, but had a couple blocks and a steal. And then Nate Britt chipped in 5 points for us. And then Theo Pinson actually had an interesting game. He was on the court for 8 minutes, had 4 fouls, and really didn't contribute a whole lot other than that. Had an assist and a rebound, but just never couldn't get it going. He averaged a foul every 2 minutes, and just couldn't get in a rhythm. Wasn't out there long enough. And I don't know, the refs had it in it for him or something. But rough game for Theo. But again, we pull out the win. Wasn't pretty, but was a big time win because, we didn't need to lose one at home. We didn't need to lose one to Georgia Tech. So the Tar Heels sit at 13-2 right now, 2-0 in the ACC play, with a couple of big games on the road coming up, which is obviously where we'll jump to next. And like I said before, we play Florida State in Tallahassee tonight. Probably won't get to listen to this before that game, but I'll cover everything. A winnable game. Obviously, in the preseason, I predicted us to win, as I did with most of our games. But one, that if we don't come ready to play, and I don't know, maybe the Georgia Tech game is because it's a noon start on a Saturday, and the guys are just, whatever. And it was a nice crowd. Students were kind of back for it, even though classes haven't started. And so there shouldn't have really been an excuse, but whatever reason, they came out kind of not into it. The intensity level was not there and not what we needed to start a game off. So hopefully it's better. We know Roy likes to go into people's homes and steal their brownies, as he says. But we play in Tallahassee against Florida State tonight. That's Monday the 4th. It's on ESPN. It's a 7 p.m. Eastern start. And it'll be an interesting game. We've had, 4 games in 8 days right now. And this is the last one. It's on the road. But the guys got to look at it as, we got a lot of time to rest after this. We played, tonight, Monday, and then we got to rest all the way until Saturday, where we go to Syracuse and take on the Orangemen. And it'll be Jim Boeheim's return, if I'm not mistaken. He, of course, initially had the 9-game ACC suspension that he had to sit out, and then it got reversed partly through the season, and he got to start right there, and I believe this is his first game back. So they're going to be up for it. They're going to be hyped. It's a 8 p.m. Eastern start on ESPN on Saturday night, prime time Saturday night on ESPN. Big time matchup, and so we got to become ready to play. But so far this year, those are the games we kind of have come to play. The Maryland game, UCLA game, those kind of stuff. We've come ready to play for that national stage. So hopefully that's the case again. And then we go all the way from that Saturday to the following Saturday, the first matchup against NC State. But we'll talk about that one more next week when it gets a little bit closer. We'll take it 1 week at a time. So, a couple of big road games here. And we got to keep it rolling. We're 2-0 in the ACC. We got to keep going. It'd be great to obviously win the ACC, get a high seed in the tournament, and just make a huge run as we get into March. But that's pretty much all I got here. The other thing I had on my notes is update from Kennedy Meek's injury, and we've kind of done that already. There's not much to be said, and hopefully he comes back quickly. Hopefully he comes back healthy, not too out of shape. And like I said before, hopefully those other guys continue playing at the level that they have been while he's been out when he gets back, and that'll just make us that much better and that much more dangerous as we get into tournament time. So the season is, I don't think we can say halfway. What do we usually play? 36 games or so. We're 14 games in, so we're almost halfway done with the season already. It's rolling. We're into conference play. I wish it would slow down a little bit. I just wish, it lasted longer, more of the year, although, the way it's condensed and especially March with the tournament, that's what makes it so exciting and so fun to watch. So, yeah, we'll keep cheering on the Heels, and hopefully they keep playing the way they have been, and hopefully continue to unite as Tar Heel Nation. And that's my goal here with this podcast. And so if you haven't already, connect with me somewhere on social media. All the links for anywhere to connect with me will be in the description. Email, Twitter, YouTube, any of that. Would love to hear from you, chat with you, talk about Carolina basketball, of course, but even college basketball in general. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear where you listen, how you found it, all that stuff about the podcast. So hit me up there. And yeah, let's just unite Tar Heel Nation. Let's keep cheering them on to more and more victories. But that's really all I got for you this year. Make sure you are supporting the podcast. Tell a friend, tell a family member, or even download it onto their phone for them so they can listen to UNC Hoops Talk podcast and get just as entrenched as you are in the passion that is UNC Hoops. So that is all I got for you this week. Until I talk to you again next week, hopefully my voice is better. But just always remember, go Heels.